I'm Daniel J. Smith Jr., a BSN sponsored athlete, personal trainer, bodybuilder and fitness model from Wolverhampton. Bodybuilding is not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. Everything I do with 100% effort. Train 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 1 hour in the gym, 23 hours out. It's all or nothing. The more you put in, the more you get back out. Bodybuilding is not about impressing others, it's about the impression that you put on yourself. You get back what you put in. Give 100%, and 100% will be given back to you. I love bodybuilding. It's what I do. It's what I live and breathe for. First started just getting into weight training and powerlifting, and it kind of educated me. I learned from that bodybuilding was for me, really. You know, working on my physique, and you can obviously get the factors of powerlifting and just general weightlifting in as well. You're just taking it to the next level, really, and training with discipline. I've never really imagined myself being a bodybuilder until I got to a stage of maybe 2 years into my training when I was doing really well and I was just loving getting stronger and hitting PBs and taking pictures and putting them online, and I just found out that it was me. Before that point, I did want to become a fitness model, and I always had a dream ever since I was a kid to be on the front cover of a magazine. I achieved that late last year when I featured on the front of Beef magazine. So that meant a lot for me. It was a big deal for me. I'm off season at the moment, but I am dieting. So, you know, just seeing how I go. And at the end of my diet phase, if I feel I'm ready, then I'm going to jump back on stage. First trophy I got was the NAC Junior South Coast Championships. The previous year, I had four attempts, and I never got a first place. My very first competition, it was, you know, I went in, you know, disorganised, wasn't prepared for it, and I got a lot of, I got, you know, people laughing at me on stage and stuff, and from there I thought I'd come off stage and, you know, prove myself. So I took some time out, done it properly, came back, and yeah, took first place at the NAC, which then qualified me for to go to the next stage, which was the UK Championships. The first time it was nerve-wracking. So I mean, getting up on stage in front of, you know, in some cases hundreds of people is going to be nerve-wracking. Knowing that everybody, you know, back at home and all your friends and all people on Facebook and Twitter and stuff are going to know about it too. So, you know, you have to really impress. When it comes to the day, there's no going back. You can't really do anything else. So there's a lot of pressure. But once you get used to it, you know, it's one of those things where you look forward to it. Just getting back on stage, doing the whole routine again, and just keep pushing. My mindset's more focused. It's focused, so, you know, I like to keep my mind completely on what's going to happen, my routine, going over my routine over and over again. As well as that, just making sure I'm not going to mess up on my posing, so practice on the posing. On top of that as well, making sure I've got everything up with me, my tanning. If you make one mistake, it could all go wrong, which is a lot if you've took, you know, months to prepare for the show. So on the day, it's all about staying focused, just making sure everything is going to come down to plan. Your posing, your routine, your tanning, your nutrition, everything's got to be bang on. So preparation is the key, really. Heroes, I mean, in terms of bodybuilding, I would say I'll go not old school, you know, back to the 1990s, you know, Flex Wheeler, you know, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, all these guys. But, you know, you can look way back and, you know, into Arnie and people that set the trend as well. Me personally, I find I look outside of bodybuilding, people that have made it from, you know, my situation, you know, from the streets, so to say, you know, Dizzy Rascal, people like that, have made a name for themselves and, you know, really pushed themselves and stayed motivated. So more outside bodybuilding, people just more have been in my position, and I'm trying to be in the same position of them where they've made it. If anyone was interested in, you know, getting involved in bodybuilding, advice I would give them is, you know, the most important thing first is make sure you're ready. So give 100% to your training, making sure that you do your research, which is probably, you know, the most important one out of all of them. If you're not doing your own research, you're never really going to know what it requires to, you know, be where you want to be. So yeah, research, make sure you get someone that's reliable, and make sure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself in for, because you know you're gonna have to make some sacrifices to your time. Family and friends might get, you might have to cut some of them off sometimes. If they're true friends and family, they will understand, as long as you are pushing 100% and you are serious about it. Yeah, I mean, my training at the moment, I'm focused on at least 6 days a week. Some days having to get 2 sessions in per day. Focusing on one muscle group each training session as well, so I can give it 100%. Focus on the correct rep ranges, rests, so I don't have to focus on my muscle getting cold when I prioritise another one. Just giving it 100% in the moment, so it just enables me to train 10 to 12 times per week, split between the 6 days. I'd say most important part of my training would have to be the volume. I'm trying to keep the volume consistent. Sometimes you're tired, so you don't quite stick to, religiously to your rep ranges, the specific sets, the weights, but you just gotta be consistent really. So keep the volume up. So I make sure my rest periods are consistent throughout. That makes my session intense, and obviously it overloads the muscle itself. I don't have half-hearted days. I'm all about keeping it consistent as much as possible at the moment. I don't set days in terms of what I'm going to train on each day. What I do is just, because I'm training one muscle group per session, it enables me to have a little bit of flexibility. So, Monday might be chest, but the following Monday might be shoulders. So depending on how I feel on the day, I'll train, any particular muscle group. So just give me that even balance. Sometimes when you're training things like chest, your tries feel a bit of an effect. You're tired some days, so you might want to train something that's a bit more casual, like calves or adductors, as opposed to a bigger muscle group like back. So I just give myself that flexibility at the moment. So yeah, some days I have to train twice a day, but I'm happy to do that because I enjoy training. I love training at the moment. Don't do much cardio at all really. I save that for when I get closer to competitions or closer to a photo shoot or anything around them lines. For now, I just focus on the weights. If you control your carbs, monitor your good fats in your diet as well, and ensure you get enough protein, you'll maintain and grow on muscle itself while you are dropping body fat. So I'm keeping it steady at the moment. Cardio wise, I just do a bit of a warm up at the moment. When I do get close to competition, that's when I'll incorporate cardio. Start off 20 minutes for a 20-minute session, and gradually increase it, maybe week by week, maybe every few days. Just depends how I'm dropping body fat. But I use it as that tool closer to competition to get that final nail in the coffin. The big difference between on season and off season in my training is that I think off season, because I've got that much calories and that much carbs and stuff in me, I can just focus on more of the powerlifting side of things, more of the training I enjoy doing. When it comes to competition, you have to be disciplined, you have to be strict, and it completely changes everything. Your rep ranges and your sets out of your comfort zone really. But I do enjoy my training a lot more off season. I enjoy my food obviously a lot more because I'm eating at will. Having a lot more carbs, calories, protein, everything, and having my treats in between as well. But it does slow you down a little, so you do need a bit more rest and a bit more recovery, I find too. But on the season, I just keep everything going. It's all about intensity, so I do recover quicker. It's just that the sessions itself are a little more intense. My advice I would give to anyone trying to take their training to the next level is, first of all, look yourself in the mirror, because that's the person that you have to look at to every single day. So look yourself in the mirror, see what position you're in, and see how realistic it is at that present moment as well. It's all good saying you want to knock your training up, or you want to compete, or you want to go for a photo shoot or be a model. It's all good saying it, but you have to plan. Without a plan, it's just 10 times harder than you'd ever imagine. Yeah, training is important, but it's nothing without an adequate training program and making sure your nutrition's on point. When I first started training, gym was just a thing on the side. I only really concentrated on the gym when I actually got to the gym. So it was a post-workout shake, and that was pretty much it in terms of my nutrition. I was eating at will, so get my meals in. I thought that adding one extra meal was enough, as opposed to going from like 2, sometimes 3 to 3, sometimes 4. And in terms of developing, it's not really the right way to go, because if you're maintaining muscle on 3 meals, then really you need to be making sure that you're getting 4 meals guaranteed. to be obviously increasing the muscle. Then when you increase enough, then you might have to knock up to 5, or it could be just the portion sizes. But if you're going to cap it the same, then it's going to be hard for you to develop the muscle and obviously control your body fat at the same time. So I wasn't sponsored, wasn't on any supplements apart from a whey protein. But you know, all my research I put into it, and you know, my experience from bodybuilding and talking to other bodybuilders has helped me to choose the right supplements and obviously add my intensity to training. At the moment, I'm basing it around about 300 grams of protein, around 200 grams of carbohydrates, and the fats I'm keeping around between 75 and 100 grams as well. So the fats are good fats, I should mention as well. So you know, things like olives, avocado, and of course like supplements such as CLA. So I'll just go through a bit about that. In terms of that, we've got some supplements here. We've got protein shakes, pre-workouts, post-workouts, amino acids. Synthesis is a high in protein, low in carb shake, also as well low in fat too. So it's, you know, it's going to be utilised at a really fast rate. Also as well, I'm putting carbs in there. So I have a complex carb shake as well. So with the complex carb shake, that just adds, you know, the carbs, and it's a good carb source as well. So again, going to be utilised really fast. Combine that with my my greens as well. So it's pretty much like a smoothie or a blend, you know, just getting an all-in-one first thing in the morning, providing myself with some greens as well, just, you know, to be nice and healthy, and help my body to synthesize it well. After that, that's where I have my porridge. So I have my porridge oats straight after that. Lunch, as I'm on the go at that point, I'll have something like rice cakes. So with the rice cakes, again, a really good source, nice starchy, low in sugar, source of carbohydrates. And I'll have that plain because I'm dieting. When I'm off season, I do add the honey. So it just gives you a bit of a treat, sugars and stuff. So try to go for a natural honey, but I will have that off season. When I'm dieting, I have that as a cheat meal. So I'll whack that on each rice cake, just give it a bit of flavour. But when you are deep into dieting, to be honest, rice cakes are adequate enough. They do have a different taste when you're on season as opposed to off season as well. We've also got the pre-workouts and post-workouts. So pre-workout, again, not for everybody, but for myself, I only use it about 2 to 3 times a week. Again, provided by BSN, a really good one on EndoExplode. Take about 15-30 minutes before my training. Just gives me a bit of a kickstart. Helps with the circulation, gives you a better pump as well. And so it's more about the performance and, you know, getting yourself in that zone. Post-workout, Cell Mass, again, from BSN, a really good brand. So really good product. And it's a matrix, so it's a creatine matrix, so you've got amino acids in there as well. So you're not going to be in a catabolic state during your after your training. So I take that as a post-workout, straight after training. Give myself about 15-30 minutes to digest the creatine, because it's not an energy source, so it's going to be utilised a lot faster. Then I'll take my Synth4Six straight after training again. So that'll be my second shake there. Again, that's where you're focusing on your recovery again, such as creatine does. The Amino X, which is a blend of amino acids, again, can have this during. I have this during. You can have it, you know, post and pre as well. But I have it during, again, just to avoid being catabolic. As well, we've got my chicken, sweet potato. Preparation's important. So I'll make sure every Sunday I'm getting a Tupperware full of chicken, Tupperware full of sweet potato prepared. So, you know, it's there for me just to, you know, equal out in the morning. So it's just nice and easy. Take that away from me, then you know, if you fail to prepare, then you just prepare to fail.